It was like a hot pocket where you just squeeze all the guts of it out.
In what way is it like a hot pocket where you squeeze all of the guts out?
I don't know. It starts out okay, but then the hot pocket pops and all the stuff falls out.
Have I ever told you how I eat a hot pocket? Have you seen me eat a hot pocket?
So listen, I've seen you eat a lot of things, and you always eat them in just the strangest, most meticulous way I could imagine. So I'm excited for this.
Well, so it's not. I wouldn't say it's crazy, but the problem is always that the inside is like molten, right? It'll burn the inside of your mouth. So a hot pocket is really two pieces of bread, like a sandwich, kind of enclosed on the sides.
It's a ravioli.
Yeah, sure. Technically, it's like a ravioli sandwich hybrid thing. So if you I did this with ravioli as well. Actually, it's kind of weird that you mentioned that, but basically, you just got to take the sides off of the hot pocket. You just eat around it like it's a crust, right? Like the crust of a bread. Mm-hmm. At this point, you have these two distinct pieces, and then kind of this molten inside layer. You can remove this top piece, which mostly just has like cheese and sauce and whatever stuff on it, right? And for most hot pockets, you can roll that up and just eat it like a big cheese bread. Call it an appetizer, and then the rest of it is kind of the protein of whatever's in the hot pocket. So you can eat like the giant pieces of sausage or whatever, big veggies, whatever it is in your thing. And then you have half of it remaining kind of like with some more cheese, more sauce, and maybe some more of the kind of core ingredient of the hot pocket. And you kind of repeat the process with the bottom. You just roll it up and you have kind of like a finisher meal. But it's all just about rolling things up. You kind of got to get it into its atomic form and consume it in a way.
So you roll up your hot pocket?
The pieces of my hot pockets, yeah.
You disassembles the hot pocket and reassembles it into a wrap.
I do that with chicken nuggets too.
Here's my comment on that is, I know in my head that this seems like a slow process, but I've seen you eat before and you eat at breakneck speed, so...
He really does. That man vacuums that shit up.
I imagine you
like a Hoover
destroying a hot pocket like at Mach 10.
I like the idea
all this.
of eating at breakneck speeds.
You look like you're gonna break your fucking neck. You're giving that plate neck too.
But yeah, no, I don't eat slow.
Damn, I haven't eaten a hot pocket in years.
Me neither.
Them shits kind of gross me out now.
Yeah, they're not ideal.
I just think back when I would eat the ham and cheese ones with mustard, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Who hurt me?
Super gross.
It was pretty good back then.
Yeah. Mustard doesn't really belong anywhere except a corn dog.
Okay, go fuck yourself.
Garbage.
What is
sandwich?
It's only good on like a Whataburger. A Whataburger burger is good with mustard.
Whataburger burger. How's that different from any burger?
Because they don't put cheese or other condiments. It's kind of their thing. They do the onions. And
so you only like it raw with no cheese?
Yeah, like a Whataburger with nothing on it.
Is it like animal style cooked hamburger, like cooked in mustard?
Yeah,
like crazy?
mustard fried.
Yeah, that's what it is at In-N-Out when you get animal style hamburger. Mm-hmm. That shit's good, dude. It's good. Are you talking about just raw condiment mustard that you have a problem with?
I mean, if I have mustard in my meal, I'm probably not happy about it.
Is it that you're eating low quality mustard? I heard
you're eating that Heinz.
Oh, dude, no. It, like a good mustard with the seeds in it, like the dark brown kind of mustard.
Yeah.
That stuff is great. But yeah, like a French's.
I can understand not liking the yellow mustard, like the shitty yellow mustard. It's a little ass. I really like just deli mustard.
It's a little ass.
I still like it, but not nearly as much as what's it called? It's like G something.
Dijon.
Oh yeah, D something.
Dijon mustard. I got you.
Yeah, Dijon's really good, and the ones with the seeds as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's some good mustard, but like in the general sense, mustard probably shouldn't be in your food.
I don't even remember the last time I fucking ate normal yellow mustard. Actually, no. I think I had it with a Costco hot dog. A glizzy, as they call it.
Yes.
The Glizzard.
When I first heard the slang glizzy, I thought it was a gun. Because people, it is a gun. I mean, that's the... Yeah, and I think that's what the thing is. But there's also blicky, You can go grab your blicky and your
Blicky with
blick.
the stiffy.
Yes. But then apparently Glizzy's a hot dog.
Glizzy
Also.
Drake.
That Glizzy Drake, it's a good one. Solid.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 41 of Bachelor's the Home Games podcast.
We're the throat goats. King of the Glizzies.
I'm Yazeed. This is Joseph. And that's Alex.
I'm Joseph,
Alex.
and that's Alex.
And that over there.
And making an appearance for our video people is Sapphire, who's
Yes.
just chilling, staring off into oblivion. What's happening, Joseph?
Oh, let me think. I got this whiteboard installed behind me. That's very cool.
Is it like in the wall now?
Yeah. Well, Synovia's dad visited because he knows how to do that kind of stuff. And I was scared. Like I bought a stud finder and a drill because I knew I had to drill this thing into the wall. And I've never used the drill. I have no idea what I'm doing with a drill or a stud finder. And so Synovia's dad came over and helped me, and he did it in like 30 seconds. He didn't even need the stud finder. He just knocked on the wall real fast. Was like, "Yeah, it's right here. Just drill this." Yeah, cool. He was out in a couple minutes. So
Nice.
that was cool. And then that right there is a little wiener in the corner of the whiteboard.
Nice.
Synovia's sister drew that one, so I don't think I can erase it.
Is that okay? I have a question for you on your whiteboard. Is
Yeah.
that set up so that when you're sitting, you can reach all four corners of it, or is it when you're standing, you can reach all four corners of it?
When I'm standing, it's kind of like the maximum comfort range for me to do my arm up like this,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a little low for me to go to the bottom corner because it's 4 feet high.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I just like having the whiteboard. I did some sketches for some home games things that I guess I'll talk about later. Can we talk about the different structure that we're going for in this episode?
Yeah, we should probably talk about it. Do you want to go over it real quick?
Oh, I guess. Yeah, sure. Well, we just noticed that we don't think it's super easy to flow into different conversation topics in this, because often it's kind of this going towards the meat of the conversation, which is home game stuff, but then intentionally avoiding talking about home game stuff for the first however long, and we're trying to just be like everything else, trying to just be funny or trying to just tell anecdotes or whatever, but it's kind of dancing around the main topic. So I think it kind of makes sense to just integrate these things together because home game stuff and what we did this week are the same. And this is the Home Games podcast. It kind of makes sense, I guess, to integrate it into the conversation. So
Yeah.
loosely, that's kind of what we're trying to do. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're just going to try to make it flow a little bit better and
Yeah.
be a little bit less like, and now we're going to talk about this. The only one that we're leaving for sure is Song of the Week, because that should be kind of self-contained.
Yeah. You can't really just bring up Song of the Week in middle of
Yeah, so
conversation.
anyway, I was really listening to this one song.
Yeah. But yeah, no, other than the whiteboard stuff, just been playing video games, kind of a bunch of other stuff going on in life that is not related to this podcast. But one thing I will say is I was super wrong last week, probably on a lot of things, but on Destroy All Humans, the game just starts slow. So those first few missions are just, it's basically just tutorial. And that's fine. It's just that the missions themselves are not super fun. It's go over here, hit this button, go do this thing. It's very linear, I suppose. But it's still
I gotta
fun.
Step away for a second.
Sure.
Sapphire's whining.
Yeah. But Destroy All Humans is cool. It's one of those games where like it's just challenges and stuff and kind of self-contained missions, and you get 3 stars and you try to go back for it and do it again. There's no real, like, there's a story and kind of stuff too, but it doesn't really matter. There's one particular mission that I kind of liked where you're playing as, have you ever played Destroy All Humans, Alex?
I did as a kid for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't remember it a lot.
There's a mission early on where it's like the people of Rockwell or whatever city you're in are freaking out because they've spotted aliens and all these stories of aliens. So your mission is to go and take over like the body of the mayor and then go give a speech as the mayor, calming everybody down. And
I see.
And it's actually pretty funny. You basically have these like Mass Effect style what are they called? Conversation trees.
Yeah.
But they're not actually trees. They're just kind of options of what you want to say. And so some person in the audience will be like, "Oh, we saw the spaceman. We're afraid for our safety." And then one of the options is like blame the communists, stuff like that. So you basically just keep doing that and like, "Oh, we're Americans," and "Oh, it's always the commies," or whatever. And then all the dumb people in the crowd are just like, "Yeah, yeah," and then that basically convinces them that there are no aliens. So stuff like that makes the game fun, I think, but it's still not. I don't know. It's not very deep, I guess.
Is it still just like, I kill with the alien gun, and that's like the most of the game? Yeah,
pretty much. It's and it's kind of like how Ratchet and Clank. The appeal is mostly the different weapons and just seeing the different stuff. And they are pretty interesting. Like one of them, for example, is an anal probe, and it just makes people poop themselves until they die. And kind of stuff. It's
I
like,
want to go.
yeah, it's the dream. But it's kind of the thing that you think is funny when you're like 10, 15. And it's kind of not. It's not funny now. It's just it's not enough for me to think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like it's not that deep of a game.
Yeah, it's not. And I guess I don't expect it to be because it never really was. Like I said last week, that game I beat, I think in one sitting, it was like 4 or 5 hours long. But I don't know. I'll finish it just because I like the style of it. I like the kind of goofy characters. I like the art style is pretty nice. It looks really great. There's HDR support and all that kind of stuff too, so it looks awesome.
Yeah. If an asshole 10-year-old can beat it in 4 hours, it's probably not that long of a game.
Yeah. Well, it does have all those challenges and stuff. You can go back, but
yeah,
but
I think it was just a flavor of the month game back in the 2010s or whenever 2000s.
Yeah. It was 05 when that one came out.
Oh God. Oh.
Yeah. I know.
Passing of time.
It's so crazy. But yeah, then the other thing I've been playing is Last of Us 2. So you mentioned a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, but it was off the podcast, that you watched a YouTube story of Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah, I just kind of watched all the main story beats on YouTube. I do that for like games that I want to like I don't want to buy them, but I want to know the plot.
Yeah.
Like I did that with like Asura's Wrath on the PS3. But that one's legitimately a movie game, so it makes sense.
That's like the QuickTime event game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like some really shallow kind of God of War combat in between, but it's like really not good.
Yeah.
It's all about the cutscenes and bullshit.
Right. Did you? So no spoilers or whatever, but for Last of Us 2, I think I just hit the first kind of major story beat, which is something that, again, no spoilers, but like,
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of an obvious illusion that this thing is going to happen because of the way that the game is introduced. It doesn't focus on one particular aspect so much.
I feel like that the ending of the first one just painted out that that's going to happen too.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could talk about the ending of the first one, right? I mean, that game is super old.
It's like 7 years old or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing of like Joel is a bad person because, or maybe he's not. I mean, it's kind of a decision for you to make, I suppose. But
no, he's definitely a bad person for what he did, but it's also completely understandable why he did that.
Yeah. Should we briefly explain what the story of the first game was for anybody that isn't familiar?
Yeah, sure.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I remember. Again, I haven't played this game since it came out, but Joel has a daughter. Joel is a man. This daughter dies. I don't remember why she dies.
One of like the quarantine like SWAT guys shoots her
by mistake.
No, like he gets orders to kill Joel and Sarah. That's remember, he's like on the radio. He's like, "I found survivors. What do I do?"
Yeah. Okay.
They tell him to shoot him.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So that's like the outbreak is happening or whatever, and trying to contain everything, and bad, corrupt police or government or whatever it is kills Joel's daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually kind of makes sense. Why he has this thing. Anyway, so he finds this girl named Ellie, who I don't remember exactly how they meet or what the specifics are, but basically she's immune to the virus. They need to get to somewhere to see if science can happen and help the world.
Yeah,
right?
Make a cure or a vaccine or something.
Yes. And then they get an attachment to each other, obviously an emotional attachment. He has this thing because his daughter died and she's roughly, just like 14 or whatever it is. And then in the end, basically the thing that Joel is the choice that Joel has, not the player. This is just a thing that happens in the story. Is kill Ellie and get the actual cure for humanity, or well, he doesn't really. It's not presented as a choice, but he just guns down everybody that was gonna do this whole thing, and then takes Ellie out of the thing.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you finally got her here. Now maybe we can get a cure. Oh, by the way, we have to kill her to try to get the cure on her.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched that part recently, and they're like really dickheads to him. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do it, you stupid fuck. Get out. We're gonna kill her. Get the hell out of here.
Right.
You're lucky we don't kill you too. And then they try to kill him too. It's like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Like, I forgot how like shitty the Fireflies were to Joel too.
Yeah. I guess I don't remember that part much. I remember the whole just the kind of choice, and at the beginning of the second game they kind of recap that whole thing that she's immune. He basically chose to not save humanity, to be selfish.
He just didn't want to lose his daughter again. That was basically the whole story arc there.
Yeah.
His new daughter.
So without spoiling anything, do you like the story of the second one? I've heard so much controversy and I don't know what it's about. I don't know.
I don't like a part of the ending. Okay. But I think I like what they overall went for.
Yeah.
It's like I can't say what it is without spoiling it, but
yeah,
the whole game's sort of like a revenge plot.
Yeah,
and revenge plots are kind of there's a way some games do them when this game doesn't give you choices, but other games that do give you choices, it's really dumb.
Is you in the ones that give you choice are dumb, or
yeah, like what is it? It's like Splinter Cell Blacklist or something like that is like my favorite example, where you can just like gun down literally every like foot soldier on the way to the last boss guy who just like took over the White House or something. And the end, after you killed like hundreds of people, it's like, if you kill him you'll be just like him. I literally ended 3 generations on my way here.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
You kind of get that in stuff like GTA as well, though. You can just go gun down thousands of people and then have a story thing about how Nico is conflicted about whatever.
GTA 4 tried some shit like that.
Yeah.
I think GTA 5 realized that it's just so unself-aware. It's self-aware that I don't know. It's all fucked up there. But yeah, no. The game follows something similar to that.
Okay. I'm super into it. I mean, just from the couple, like I'm maybe 2.5 hours into it so far, and I just the way that game plays, I really like. I like the kind of stealth stuff. I like how the action is slow paced. Like you have to be really accurate with your shots because there's not much ammo. I just love the combat in that game. Even the multiplayer in the first one, I really love that.
Yeah, the gameplay's pretty good in that.
Yeah,
it's like brutal, shoot, beat shit. I'm dead.
Yeah, like, it's kind of similar to Gears.
Yeah,
it's like a slower paced Gears.
More realistic, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah.
I don't know about the crafting shit though. Like looking through every drawer to like find some paperclip in someone's ass just to make like another little consumable. Like that stuff isn't very interesting.
Yeah, especially because at least the stuff I've seen so far, they make that stuff optional. Like you can kind of branch out and explore. There's parts where you have some kind of open roaming on a horse or whatever, and it's like the path is here, but maybe there's some buildings here, here, and here. Very obviously placed optional things for you to go look into, and you just do. And it's like, okay, yeah, drawer full of paper clips, thing full of notes. Oh, look, a picture of Seattle. Oh, look, whatever, that kind of stuff. And they try to make it seem like it's all just, I happened to come across this thing, but realistically it's just something that made it obvious that there's something in this house you should come look in it, which is not super fun.
Yeah, maybe they could have gone a little better with the extra optional stuff. Yeah. But I think my favorite version of all that is how BioShock used to do it, like 1 and 2, where you just go off exploring some unimportant place, and then suddenly you have the power to have bees come out of your dick or something.
Yeah. Like
something actually cool that you can beat the whole game without finding. That's just sick.
I think that's what frustrated me about Bioshock 2, though, is that they framed these optional, or they framed these missions as optional, right? The little sister missions or the big sister missions. But those are actually kind of crucial to the game because you're super underpowered if you don't get those upgrades that you get from these optional missions.
Yeah.
And the game is super frustrating if you don't have those upgrades. So that's kind of how I played it, and it was not it for me.
I think a lot of games are pretty rough if you skip all the optional content like that and you're like under level.
But then don't make it optional.
Well, that's like the whole point is like you get overpowered by doing optional content in RPGs. Like
yeah.
You help every person find their dog in the world before you fucking fight the main quest or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it's always been.
I guess I just don't know. It's like Saints Row 2. I don't know if you remember how that was structured,
Yeah.
but they had all those optional challenges, and you can go basically you had to basically spend points or whatever that you got from completing side challenges to go and do main missions. So you needed to do optional missions to progress in the main story, but you can also just bank all those. So it became like this chore of I want to play the story to see what's happening, but I need to go and I think one of the side games was like literally spray shit on houses. So you're doing this thing, and then you have to go and do this other not fun side thing.
I don't know if the respect meter in that game was a good idea to force you to go off it.
Yeah.
But I guess it's one way to go about it.
Yeah.
I definitely like just being able to go into everything, like the main shit raw and be horribly underpowered, but if you're good enough, you can do it. Like playing Dark Souls.
Yeah.
All those games are like that.
The deprived or depraved or whatever it is.
Yeah, you just see what the speedrunners do to just break the game in half.
It's insane.
That shit's always fun.
Yeah. We were talking about Last of Us 2, Yazeed. Well, in case you.
Thank you. I got back to hear where you guys were at. I missed, I think, the Destroy All Humans portion, but I came back for that.
The summary there was that I was wrong because that game is still not really as deep as it could be, but it's just simple, dumb fun, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad you're liking it again.
Yeah.
The game and Stubbs the Zombie are, like, classic to me from that period of time.
Yeah. I think I've played Stubbs the Zombie at like a Target demo display a long time ago, but never actually played the game.
You should try the actual game. It's basically that, but you're a zombie, and it has all the zombie fun. Like you're the zombie ruining a utopian racist society, and it's actually pretty funny.
Did you say a utopian racist society?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Is that an idea of a utopia?
Cut that.
No, they call it like a utopian society, but they're like you feel the racism, and like it ties in like pretty closely with the main story, basically. So it kind of like plays into it.
I've always wanted to feel the racism.
Yeah.
Put that on the back of the box. It's like the selling point.
You'd feel it.
But yeah, that's all for me. Actually I had one more thing, but I'll talk about it later, or maybe it'll come up or whatever.
Do you what's going on with you, Alex?
All I can think about is how I played Halo 2 on Legendary with Titan all of yesterday afternoon until 2 a.m.
Nice.
That shit was dumb as fuck.
Did you beat it?
End up beating
Yeah,
it?
we beat it. Well, we started from like past the city level. That's how far we got last time. But yeah, we did the whole game, and oh my god, I hate Titan.
What?
I was just hearing a man cry for 8 hours straight. Yeah, maybe I was dying for 8 hours straight. And in that game, when someone dies, like in co-op, everyone goes back to the last checkpoint. So you can't just like have one person be the spawner or something. But that game still is very fun. It's always fun to like switch back and forth between the old and the new graphics, especially new cutscenes. It's like you'll see this man who looks hot as fuck. He just looks like a real ass man. It's like, whoa. And then you turn it back and he literally looks like fucking Mr. Potato. It's kind of amazing. It's cool that they can do that on the fly.
Yeah.
You were streaming it last night. I watched a little bit of it. You and Tynan were varying between having a good time and having about to rip each other's faces off, it felt like.
Well, you joined right when we started the hardest part of the game, which is like you get teleported by Gravemind into High Charity, and you just have to fight 800 brutes with a fucking one needler. This shit is dumb.
Yeah.
It's like
I remember that's the game where they split the Covenant, right? It's like you actually team up with the elites against the brutes.
yeah, that's where
That
it
game was
starts.
fun. I like that level where that first happens and you're like going around there. It's just like elites fighting brutes.
Yeah, that's
grunts
that
fighting
level.
grunts. Like, oh man,
Yeah,
that's cool. I
They
like
ha-
that when I
They
played
have their
originally.
Breaking Benjamin room where the Breaking Benjamin starts playing during that. It's a classic because it doesn't
What?
fit. Yeah, there's like, or is it Breaking Benjamin or someone else? But there's some weird fucking band. You just hear a guitar riff come in, and it doesn't belong in the game at all. And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
It's like an Easter egg, or
No, it's like just a main room. It just happens.
weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just like you walked into some 40-year-old white dad's room or something on accident and shit's going down. But the game's really fun. We played with like a couple skulls, one of them being explosions are like 3 times stronger or something stupid. So we were just boosting across the whole fucking map at a lot of parts. Or getting one shot by literally anything explosive within 500 feet. And anytime that happens, of course, Tynan will immediately cry for at least 30 seconds.
What would you say is the hardest Halo game on Legendary?
I think 2. The shit was
Yeah.
rough. I guess
remember
1 is kind of hard, but it's because 1 is kind of ass.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The only thing I can think of from 1 that would be difficult is the library.
Yeah,
level.
that's.
Like, I think that's the level that broke me and my brother when we were doing a playthrough. on
That
Legendary.
level fucking sucks. Jesus Christ. They literally just copy and pasted the same hallway 10 times. And they even say in the level, haha, 10 more to go. And it's literally 10 more of the same fucking big ass hallway.
I kept getting lost on that level. I think my favorite level from there is the first time you go into like the snowy area.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forget the name of the actual level.
Yeah, that's-
Control room, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good level.
Yeah.
It actually has vehicle stuff.
Well, that and also like the parts where like you go into the door opens and you see sleeping grunts for the first time. Like you see like rooms full of like things that you normally are like gunning at, and they're just like all napping or just like not really paying attention.
Yeah.
You can kind of like splinter cell your way through it, but if you mess up, it's like good luck. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that campaign is only good at like the vehicle parts in the first one. 2 on Legendary is horseshit for so many different reasons. Just like number 1, of course, being the jackal snipers
Yeah.
who will just roll the dice on whether they fucking instantly end your life or not.
It's the same in 3. I beat 3 on Legendary, I think, co-op, and that was the thing I remember being the worst, is the one-shot deaths.
Yeah, although I think 3 is the best campaign by far, just because there's so many like vehicle and dumb sections and
Yeah.
scarab fights and stuff. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. 3 was my first Halo game, so I always have kind of a thing for that one.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Halo 1 was the last game I played with my uncle. It's like before that I was too young really to play games on my own, and then or like to successfully complete games on my own. And that was the last one I played with him. And then afterwards I've just been able to play games on my own now. So that one holds a special place in my heart.
And Rainbow Six, right?
Yeah, Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
That's why I like Rainbow Six so much.
Perfect games to play with literal infants.
Yeah. You'd think with those 2 games is some of my like first games that really like first person shooters.
Yeah.
But it's like the opposite turned out to be true, and I actually don't like them that much.
That's funny because I used to play point and click adventures and strategy games, and now I play just exclusively first person shooters.
Yeah.
We flip flopped. I was gonna say something just now and then I forgot it. No, I'm an asshole because I said that and I forgot it.
Nice.
Anyway, someone else.
So, I didn't know this, but they make dog-friendly donuts, which are like not really donuts, and I don't think a human should eat them, but they look okay. Sapphire really liked hers, so there is that.
What about a human donut is not dog friendly?
Chocolate.
What about like a glazed donut?
I think that they could probably eat that, but it's like that would be like giving a. It'd be like that's the equivalent of giving like a child a donut though, where it's like they metabolize it and it's just like straight sugar, and then they kind of freak out a little bit from basically just like a sugar rush. These ones are made of like rolled oats and like oat based So it isn't as sugar dense, I don't think.
When's the last time you tried dog food, Yazeed?
I've never eaten a piece of dog food, but I've definitely like smelled dog food regularly and like accidentally like rubbed it across my face once or twice.
Oh, you
like
accidentally rub it across your face?
Oh no!
Well, because like no, like it's like right. So like sometimes like after training with her, right, I'll have some of like powder on my hand, like the dust from it on my hands,
residue.
and then I'll like I'll be like, oh man, and just like wipe it across my face accidentally, like, oh, like my nose is itching, like go to like wipe my nose, or like my forehead's sweaty or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I just got dog food all over me. It feels warm when you smell it. I don't like it.
Alex, what about you? When's the last time you ate dog food?
Oh, must have been a couple weeks ago. No, I've never eaten dog food.
Really?
I definitely have smelled it before. Like, it smells terrible. I don't like this.
This is when Joseph tells us him and Snovio were recently just trying dog food.
You know, times are tough, trying to save money. You could buy like 20 pounds.
Bro, high protein.
No, I tried it when I was a kid a long time ago. I just ate it, and I don't know. I mean, it kind of tastes like it smells. It has the texture of like a heavy, damp cereal. It's like
seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really gross. Obviously, it's not a quality meal, but I would try it again. You know, it's not.
It's macro and micro dense. Like dog food will get you through a lot. So I know a bunch of survival situations where like, so there's a pretty famous one where a crew were trapped in the Arctic, and they ended up having to eat dog food. So they'd eat a handful of dog food, and it kept them on their feet for, I think it was like a month or something. Because it's super dense calorie wise and micro wise, because that's all a dog will eat. So.
I'll add that to my prepper setup.
It might not be a bad idea. The other thing too is you can keep a dog alive with it, and that a dog is like invaluable in a survival situation probably.
It's true. Except my dog, she just cares about the ball. I tried to surprise her by like trying to break into my own backyard the other day to see what she would do, and she just let me in. Like she just didn't care at all, because she didn't know it was me. She just heard sounds or whatever from a place that she's not used to people coming from. So I just wanted to see how she would react. But
okay, well I'm gonna ask you a question now, but I don't want you to answer it yet. So like just think about the answer.
Okay.
Well, think about it because it's kind of difficult. So using the same first letter, think of 3 words to describe your dog, and then Alex, do the same for Nami, the cat, if you would.
3 words to describe her?
Yeah, but all have to have the same first letter.
Oh.
Don't have to answer right now. We'll come back to it later, but I'm going to put that out there so you guys can kind of think about it and mull it over.
Sure.
Yeah, so the dog donuts, she tried them. She really liked them, but they're super messy, so she's not allowed to eat them inside anymore. She can eat them on the porch, but they just crumble so quickly. Yeah. So I just have dog donut crumbs like everywhere in my house. Yeah. And then her obedience classes start today too, so we're back to obedience school for her.
Level 2 obedience.
Level 2 obedience. This one's focused on distance, duration, and direction, which is all important if you want to do search and rescue, which I do.
The real triple D.
Yeah, and then other than that, I hit level 40 in Classic WoW finally. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Oh my god.
It's been like a real grind.
How long does that take? Yeah.
I think I would measure it in days. I think it's like 17 days right now of playtime.
Damn, okay.
Over what period of time?
Since it came out, so it's been like months.
Several months, yeah.
Yeah, it's been like, I think it's been like 7 months or something since it first came out.
That's still pretty impressive. That's quite a bit of time.
Yeah. So my brother stopped playing, so I have to play by myself, but since I picked a class that lets me like very quickly queue up for dungeons, like I pretty much have just been running dungeons to level up as fast as possible.
So is this the start of like a dark path where in a year you're just like, was up till 3 a.m. playing WoW by myself again?
No,
maxed out my 4th
No.
pally.
If he's been going at this pace, he's in a healthy mindset.
Yeah, at 10:30 at night, I'm literally too tired to keep my eyes open anymore. And around 11:30 at night, I'll fall asleep regardless of where I'm at in my day. Like if I'm in this chair, I'll fall asleep in this chair. If I'm on the couch, I'll fall asleep on the couch. If I'm in bed, I fall asleep in bed. Yeah. I'm just so tired from all the walking.
If you want an example of an unhealthy mindset, I played that game because it came out when I was unemployed, and I got to level 40 within a week, like, of launch, and that shit was funny.
How does it take 17 days of playtime and you hit it in a week?
I was power grinding.
Yeah, he was probably just playing it to a level. I've been playing it to like enjoy it.
Yeah, I had no enjoyment.
Fuck. That sounds
well,
rough.
And also, Alex was probably playing a class and a spec that lets him like quickly power level. I'm literally playing like inefficiently just because I enjoy the playstyle.
I started with a warrior, then I went to mage.
Yeah. So the person who got the highest level in the shortest amount of time, he played mage, and I think he played like 23 hours a day for the first week, and he got to level 60 or something in 2 weeks. It's something like absolutely crazy. Literally, like his tweet at the end of it was like, "My hands are swollen and bruised, and my eyes are like completely bloodshot." He's like, "But I hit 60," and everyone was celebrating it.
Yeah, it's a fucking grind. It's pop.
JC's first appearance, like on video. I mean,
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. Oh, so you pay monthly for World of Warcraft. So I guess the way I view a subscription game like that is that you have to have like a goal. Like if I'm I'm not just gonna stop playing and then pick it up again in 6 months and kind of casually play this. Like I am paying every month. I have to recommit every month. So like, what's your goal playing WoW?
So I mean, I'm not super into like classic anymore, really. Like I'm just doing it so that when so classic was like the first expansion, then Burning Crusade is the second expansion, then Wrath of the Lich King is the third expansion, right? Wrath of the Lich King was the most fun I've ever had playing that game. So what I want to have is a character at the maximum level for classic, so that when Burning Crusade drops, I can get to maximum level on there. So when Wrath of the Lich King drops, I can just play it. Whereas like for my brother, for example, he would then have to level his character from level like 37 to 80, and then he can actually like play the most difficult content. Whereas I would just have to go from like 70 to 80, and the whole time I'm playing the new stuff. So
It's
just prep work for right now.
But you're trying to relive the magic of an old thing, which is very anti-Yazeed.
It kind of is, yes.
And you're putting in a lot of time, 17 days, some would say, to try to recreate this magical thing.
He's got to be enjoying it on sun level if he's still playing it at this point.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm
enjoying it. I'm playing it in a way that I enjoy it, but I'm not trying to get into like raiding or anything right now, right? Like I'm not trying to get to the high level content and like play the high level content and be like the best guy at the game or whatever. Like I'm just trying to like get to max level, maybe with like my main character and maybe with like an alternative character as well.
And so then you play all of the content for Wrath of the Lich King, and then you cancel your subscription, and you're out?
Well, Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King isn't there, so like basically I only played for 1 month, so I think in 2 weeks my subscription is up. So basically like wherever I'm at in 2 weeks, I'm just going to say like, okay, cool. And then eventually when I have the urge to play again, I'll play again, and I'll just keep doing that until I hit like max level. And then when Burning Crusade drops, I'll probably do that until I hit max level. When Wrath of the Lich King drops, I'll probably do that again and just see like if I'm really into it or if I'm just playing it for like nostalgia, basically. Yeah. So yeah, I'm more like testing the waters a little bit. I'm not ultra committed like buying a year or anything like that. Just 1 month at a time.
We're gonna have WoW check-ins every now and then just to see where you're at with it.
Yeah. The only other thing I really want to talk about was the League of Legends World Championship is going to actually happen this year, and I'm super excited because no one was sure if it was going to happen or not, but it's going to happen for sure.
Oh, really? Are they, is it going to happen in like bubbles in Shanghai? Like
yeah, so they're going to play the whole thing in Shanghai, and it's going to end October 29th, I think they said. So like the whole thing will be played in just the city, no audience. It'll just be the players and the casters and stuff.
Oh, okay, no audience.
Yeah, no one's allowed in. And they said maybe the final might, but that depends on like Chinese policy more than anything else.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Are you gonna do a little thing at your house again at fucking 3
I'm probably gonna do a viewing party again for it.
I might try to go to that one this time. I've been actually coaching a couple of my friends when they jungle in League.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it's actually been kind of helpful for them. is I'm like good at macro if I'm not playing. But when I am playing, I'm like, oh fuck, how do I queue? I'm like, I can't focus on anything except how shitty my micro is.
Yeah, basically I can only play engaged champions because the moment I'm responsible for dealing damage, I mess up and die.
Yeah, that's relatable.
Yeah, I'll depending on like what teams are there, I might do semis and finals as well.
Ooh.
So I'll let you guys know. But yeah, it'll be fun. It was fun last year to watch my favorite team in the world lose in record. I just get blasted. It was so sad, but it was fun.
No.
So I'll probably do it again.
That's the fun.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, so I broke Master, which Joseph found out about, and may talk about how he had to fix it. But so I broke Master for Home Games, the repo, not Home Games in general, which is just Home Games in general I broke. But I did get unit testing into there, and Squish.js now has actual CI for it, so that's like super cool.
Yeah.
So the CI PR for it is actually like when you run a PR, it'll run and it'll tell you if you suck or not. The problem I'm running into is that on the Home Games CI PR, it doesn't work, and I don't know why. It's basically not finding files, and I don't know why it's not. So I just need to dig a little bit more maybe and see if I can get it to error. Because where I'm at right now is on local, it'll work, and on CI it fails. So I'm wondering maybe it's a version issue, like version of node that's running in for CI, or something else. So I'm probably just gonna like play around with it some more this week.
Do you need to publish a new version of Squish?
You published a new version of Squish.
Yeah, but if it's still failing, I guess that might be another thing if there's more changes. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's the version of Squish that's causing the problem. What's causing the problem, it seems like, is when you run the test runner, which is what npm test does on Home Games, it should be finding the test file, and in the test file it looks for the main file. So the one that's airing right now is Clicktionary, for example. So it goes to find the clicktionary.test.js file in the test directory, and either doesn't find that file or it finds it, and then that file, the first line of it, requires the clicktionary.js file in the games directory. And when it goes to find that, it doesn't find that. So it's either not find the test file or the main file, depending. So I just need to figure out like what is the directory difference in the CI for it, because the Squish one worked first try, basically.
Yeah.
Well, first try after I broke it, but I failed to publish properly to npm, basically is what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but I need to figure that out. But once that's done, then Home Games, the repo, will have CI in it as well.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Master being broken thing, it was, we talked about it last week, we wanted to fix it, and then I think it was like 3 days ago, maybe it was Friday, and I was fixing stuff, and I published a new version of Squish, and I got everything working, and then you sent me a text, Yazeed, and you were like, am I stupid? What the fuck is wrong? This doesn't work. Oh my god. And you were like, I'm just trying to publish a new version. What the fuck? Am I, like, you were getting so frustrated.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like the worst timing, because I literally just 10 minutes ago published a version that's, the number is after what you're trying to publish, so that's not going to work. It's just going to reject it. And then I think there was some other stuff. Basically, we had both silently decided to do the same thing within 20 minutes of each other, and it kind of conflicted. But basically, the summary is that Home Games Master is fixed, and at this point, I think you should be able to pull Home Games and Home Games Web, correct me if I'm wrong, Yazeed, and just run the build steps and have it work.
Yeah, all of that should work 100%. The only thing is if you tried to run CI for Home Games, it would break. And there is no CI for Home Games Web yet. We haven't done that.
Yeah.
Have not touched that repo yet.
I did merge Alex's PRs finally that he opened.
I saw that the Docker stuff went in.
Yeah, we approved that, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll merge this," and that was months ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
So I finally merged those, so Alex has his Docker stuff in Master of Web and Home
So
Games.
it's optional to, I just want to like go over this real quick. It is optional to run it in Docker or not to run it in Docker, correct?
Yeah. It's just the Docker file is there, so you can do it if you want to.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe running the CI stuff in Docker, like starting Docker, works.
That's a pretty common use case for like how people do it.
Yeah, I wonder if I can get that to work with GitHub Actions. I wonder if that would be the solution for Home Games anyway. Because the other thing I was thinking about is maybe it's a version issue, because what I'm hoping is that when you spin up the game, it doesn't instantly spin up an instance of Squish. So that's my hope and dream.
Yeah.
But that might not be the case, because the Squish.js one, I had to limit the number of, limit the node versions that it was running on, kind of like what we're talking about, because some of the older versions don't have the .flat function. So that had to be a limiting factor there. So I wonder if maybe I have to limit it. I don't know. Anyway, that's just my stuff.
We can manually implement the flat function as well if it's like causing problems, because I know that's a thing in like Node 11 or 12 and up. And realistically, we don't
like a shim or whatever.
Well, no, I mean we can just write our own function.
I don't think we really need to. I think that if we said the minimum version of Node for this is like 14x or whatever, that's the minimum. That's a minimum version of Node that we're going to support, right? Because then if people are like, well, I only want Node 11 for some unknown reason, then they can write their own shim for it.
Yeah, I guess if it's like a Python 2 thing where people are using the old stuff for 10 years and the majority of people are using old stuff for a while, then maybe it's like, okay, it's not really hard to put a 2D array into a 1D array, we could.
I wonder if just because Node tends to, like, people tend to upgrade with the Node versions, it's not as big of a problem.
Maybe. Or like, I know that the standard version of Node, like if you just do npm install or apt-get install Node.js or whatever on Ubuntu, like by default you'll get like 9 point whatever, and that doesn't work with home game stuff. So I mean, you have to kind of specifically go to add a specific version. Like I have to Google it every time how to install Node 12 on Ubuntu. Maybe because I don't really know what I'm doing, but it just seems like I guess I don't really know what I'm saying, but if it's a majority or a large amount of people who don't have the ability to do stuff because of the version of Node being is so high or whatever, and the only reason that we have that is because of a flat function, we can replace that. It's no problem. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll see. I think if we get like, hey, I'm running Node version whatever, and I'm getting this error, then we'll start to look at it. But for right now, since really the development is you and me, I think both of us are okay with 14. So
yeah, I just imagine someone being like, "Hey, I'm running Node 7, and it's not really working for me," and we're like, "Yeah, we'll look into it." And then 5 minutes later, you should upgrade Node. That's the investigation.
The old Stack Overflow on them.
Yeah.
Either upgrade Node or write this shim, and then we provide them with the shim for flat. I think if they ran 7, they would have a lot more problems than just the flat function missing them. Because I think 7 is when they went from HTTP to HTTPS.
Well, there's both modules. There's HTTP and HTTPS.
No, I think they introduced HTTPS in 7, or in 8 or something like that. Like I don't think that they had it like before then.
Weird.
Because 7's old.
Yeah, but HTTPS is super old.
It is, but I don't think I don't think you had to have it. I think that you could do the HTTPS through HTTP at one point.
Got it.
But anyway.
Cool. Yeah.
Interesting things about Node history.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know. I really haven't been using Node much in my life, except for the past few years. So I don't actually know a whole lot about anything. But no, for home game stuff, I was just going to talk about my game. So I'm still working on that. Again, didn't make any progress on my workboard thing, but I made another ticket for. I called it objectifying the game node parameters, which I just think sounds hilarious. Objectifying anything is funny to me. But basically, I think the whole way that we construct game nodes in my PR that I have out right now, it's inconsistent, like the ordering of stuff. It's like this constructor takes a player ID as the 3rd argument. This one takes it as the 4th. This one takes it as the 1st, kind of stuff. And it's not really consistent. And I realized that a huge benefit of this whole thing is that you could just pass in an object with named parameters and only give it what you need and not have to worry about passing null in half of your stuff because you don't have arguments there. So that was kind of just a little thing I think that we should do, and it doesn't take much work to do. It's just some refactoring. But
I agree with that. We do that at my work too, where we just pass objects like that, and it makes, on one hand, it makes it easier to call functions. On the other hand, I know that there is a memory cost to doing that and a time cost to doing that. Because first it'll build the object in memory and then send it to the function.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know how impactful that is, but
it won't be impactful for what we're doing, but it always does like just ping my brain at this point to be like, that's an operation that costs time.
Yeah. But for my clicker game, I was working on it a little bit, and I basically have this initial setup, and I kind of hit a wall that I need to fix. It doesn't take long to fix, but essentially it's this thing of a clicker and a city building game, and these two games kind of exist at all times. You really have a view into each of them, but without you, they still exist. So with the way that the viewing stuff works, of like I limit this game node to only this player ID or this game node to this player ID, you can think of these two nodes existing as part of, a child of some don't clear this out subchild of the game root or whatever, and it's like this thing houses all of the menus and the game state and whatever, the actual views of stuff, and then you can just dynamically change the player IDs who are looking at each view. Say these players are looking at this, a player clicked into the city view and now they're looking over here. But until we have the list of player IDs, we can't do that, because we essentially have to create a new view node for every person who joins. And so I have this very basic thing. Like I said, you can move between a red screen and a blue screen. One of them is the clicker screen, one of them is the city builder screen. And you have this kind of mapping of player states and say that, this player has these abilities, this player does this much damage every time they attack, and these are the kinds of I guess the things that are currently happening that the player can do. And then I have the tick rate, obviously, so every second something will just update, look at the stats, look at the monster stats and do something, and kind of thing. So I have the kind of guts of all that stuff right now. I just, until I do the player IDs thing, I can't really continue working on the game unless I supremely fuck myself over, because like I said, I have to do this insane thing where I'm creating a new view, and because an enemy is a shared thing, in order to have the enemy exist in everybody's view, I have to go and basically make an enemy representing the same like underlying state, but copy the object on every single person's view, when really I should just make it one thing under a shared view state. So I don't want to go down the wrong path too much. I think that's one thing I was thinking of with all this stuff, is that, like I mentioned last week, if you're working on a game and you realize that this little thing is kind of making it harder, and you kind of go down this branch, and then you kind of just keep going, and the game...
He just cut out for you, Alex.
Yeah, he's cutting out a little bit.
Sorry. Hello.
Yeah. I missed what you were saying. So I heard that you said, like, if a game is missing something, and then after that I didn't hear. So maybe just repeat that, please.
If a game is missing something, what did I say? What am
like
I?
If you're making a game and like you're like, oh, this part's giving me some problems.
Oh yeah, it's basically it's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get sidetracked with doing things, and to a point, I can deal with things not working correctly. Whatever, I need to refactor this, and that's something I'll do later, but for right now I can kind of manage and build this game still. But this is something that it's so fundamental that if I were to continue doing this without making the change to support the list of player IDs, it would be more of a cost than the actual benefit. The short term would be I get a game working, but the long term I have to rewrite it. So I just don't want to do that. But luckily this is a quick-ish thing to do. I just need to update Squish to support a list.
Oh, okay, nice. I agree. I mean, as long as it's not like, I don't know, a couple hundred lines of code to change it, I would agree. Because if it is a couple hundred lines of code, maybe we make it a separate PR.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a separate PR. I'm not going to add to the existing one, but
cool. But I just don't want to get into the position again where it's like, yeah, we have a big change that adds a ton of stuff. Yazeed, could you review this? And I'm just like, yeah. It's just so much code to look through and stuff to poke around with. Yeah. And I'm worried I might miss something.
Yeah, no, the one that I put out was the last one of those. After that, it's going to be the smaller stuff, just because we have more of a process down now. But yeah. Anyway, that was really it. Just and it's not fun at the moment. I was trying to think earlier, like this whiteboard stuff I was doing, just like trying to think of where the fun comes in, and then I stop myself because I don't want to think about that yet. I'm just trying to get get the game working. Yeah, because I mean, if you have the thing working and you realize that your idea sucks, you can actually pivot to something else and make that thing fun. If I'm trying to make everything from the start, I'm setting myself up for failure basically, because I'm not going to make a fun, perfect, awesome thing from this point.
Yeah, building a foundation basically, and then going from there.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I just at the core, I know that I want a thing that has 2 separate views, and the 2 views have different activities, and they both share the same money. That's basically it. I need to build that before I can build other stuff.
Nice. Okay. Sounds good to me.
But that's all for me.
Have you seen the guy that made idle skilling announced an idle skilling MMO?
No.
It's sort of like Clicker MMO. I don't know how the fuck it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But apparently it comes out in like a month or something.
Maybe it all goes towards like global stats. You have teams and stuff.
Yeah, they get something like that. But it's really funny that like an entire MMO based on fucking Cookie Clicker.
Do you guys know what
Cookie Clicker the? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask the same question. What was the first one of those?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably some really old one, honestly.
The first one I remember hearing about was Progress Quest, but that wasn't really a clicker. It was like an old school RPG, but everything just kind of happened automatically. It was kind of the same thing. And there was another one that I remember before Cookie Clicker, I want to say, but anyway, those games.
Yeah,
pretty great.
It's funny that we had the same question.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, Alex, or are you guys ready to move on?
No, I think I'm good.
That's all for me.
Okay. Song of the week. Start, Joseph?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about my song of the week right now. I have quite a bit here. So, first thing, I listened to everybody's songs of the week from last week. So, Alex, you had Tame Impala, Let It Happen.
Mm-hmm.
I have definitely heard that song before, and I think it's because I listened to that album before, one with the weird wavy marble on the front.
Yeah.
So that song is cool, just because it's kind of I don't know, it has like a weird futuristic twang to it that kind of snaps, you know.
Yeah, it kind of slaps.
Yeah, snaps, slaps, and all that kind of stuff. And then I looked up the slowed and reverb version of it, because that's the one that you specifically pointed out. So I listened to a 9-minute version of the same song.
Yeah, how was that?
That one felt like I don't do the drugs that I should be doing to listen to these things.
That one will question your whole reality. It's so like trippy, depressing to listen to.
I took a screenshot and put it in our notes here, but I was going through the YouTube comments of this song, and I found this one. It's hilarious. Some dude wrote like an actual essay about the kind of visual image that he gets in his head when he hears this song, and he goes way into too much depth.
Can you read some part of it? Just your favorite part of it, maybe?
All right, I'll read the first kind of few sentences, because it's very long. My interpretation, or the way I feel, is perhaps the weirdest, but I'll talk about it anyway. Probably no one's even going to read this. I see a city, a busy one with it's a busy one with busy highway intersections, skyscrapers, clubs. Everything has a tinge of blue, from brilliant, highly energetic neon blue to a dull indigo to a soothing Prussian and tranquil aquamarine, with a hint of purple here and there, or speck of yellow peeking out from the occasional quiet corner. Cars with their glaring red, a stark contrast to the blue city. It's dark already. There's so many people on the road, going about their business. I'm probably making my way through the crowd, looking back occasionally. World seems to be slowing down as every minute passes. I guess that's about it. There's still half of this more, but it's kind of this dude
Holy
really
shit.
going too hard on a fucking slowed down Tame Impala song.
He's going for it, dude.
And a lot of these comments were kind of like that. It was people kind of like, bro, the guitar at 7 minutes in fucking made me nut. And it's like all that kind of stuff. And it's cool. I get it. It just felt very It felt like a meme. The entire thing felt like a meme.
It's definitely like meme-ified.
Yeah, especially the slowed and whatever. Have you ever listened to chopped and screwed music, Alex?
No, what's that?
So there's a DJ in Texas, maybe like 30 years ago or so at this point, started doing this thing. His name was DJ Screw. Started doing this thing where he would take records and kind of repeat them and chop them up. So, basically just parts of the song would repeat, and then he'd kind of take these things and make these mix CDs of music where it was kind of based on this slowed, you called it chopped and screwed. Chopped as in like you take the different parts and you mess it all up, and screwed being like slowed down. That was like his signature style, and it was a big part of like Texas music culture and the whole lean culture. Slowed down drug stuff, whatever. So that's actually how DJ Screw died. Just drinking lean and something happened with his. Anyway, whole thing. No. But that's the whole style of, and it's really popular in hip hop, and it's set a lot of trends, and it's still very much prominent today. The kind of spirit of that whole thing. But the idea of just slowed and fucked up music is really awesome. There's a song called "Activist" by Gucci Mane that really encompasses that.
Well, if you want more slowed and fucked up music, like similar to that, all of what's his name, The Weeknd's new album, those songs slowed and reverbed are also on my playlist along with the Tame Impala one, and they're really similar. And honestly, his voice sounds just like infinitely more depressing when it's like deeper. It's really weird. See it. Yeah, I'll write that down right now.
I like that stuff sometimes. It does something interesting to the music where it really does make you feel like it's just drugs. There's something about it that just feels like drugs, especially when weird instruments hit, like in that Tame Impala song. But the other one was "Good News" by Mac Miller, was Alex's other song of the week last week, and I hadn't heard that before, but it was really good. And it was really sad, and all that kind of stuff. Not much else to say beyond that. Mac Miller is cool. And that song is not fun.
Yeah, it's not a fun song. Not by any means. Yeah. It's a pretty good song, though.
Yeah, it sounds more upbeat than it is, and it doesn't even sound that upbeat, but, he has an album called Faces, where he was really kind of he was like in the dark midst of the drug stuff, so that's another thing where Mac Miller is kind of going in on the personal stuff, if you're interested.
Oh, yeah.
So then for Yazeed's songs of the week last week, he had two. One of them was "Used" by Strangers You Know, which I laughed at. So this sounds like a Mumford and Sons song to me, where it's kind of got like a country pop, like a
I can see that
folky type vibe.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. It sounds, and I also have that song, like the "No Rest for the Wicked" song, just because it had like that weird twangy guitar and like kind of rapping on it. It's like basic poppy, I guess. Basic Poppy's a good rap name too, but I think it just sounds like an early 2000s pop song, which I kind of like. It reminded me of like Backstreet Boys, kind of in a weird way too. Just like the kind of, I don't know.
That might be from when that song came out, honestly.
That's funny.
I don't know that much background information on it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that song was cool. The other one that you had was "Young" by Cosmos and Creature. That one I didn't like so much. I have it on my notes here. It sounds like something I would blast in 2012, because that was the year we graduated high school, and it was like somebody that I used to know, and a couple other songs like that, where it's just this very specific era of, I guess maybe not that song in particular, that somebody that I used to know, but there's this kind of era of just basic loud pop music of like, and it's just fun and whatever, and you want to hear it because you're graduating high school. So I just associate it with 2012.
Like "We Are Young" by Fun.
Yes, dude, that's exactly the kind of thing I was thinking about. Yeah. Yeah, that's the exact idea. Yes.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, so I didn't really like it very much, but it was, it's kind of a fun song. It's kind of whatever. So anyway, to wrap it all up, my song of the week this past week was 42 Doug, "Palm Angels in the Sky." This is one of those songs where if I'm in the car with somebody and I don't know them very, very well, I have to skip this song because the energy is so aggressive that it makes the car ride weird because you don't know me very well. You know what I mean? And like I'm just playing this song.
Makes you aggressive.
When you judge people when you hear music in their car. When you go to lunch with a coworker and they play something on their thing, you're judging the fuck out of every song.
Oh my god, it's so true. Oh.
So this is a song that I need to skip because I don't want to come off as someone who listens to this. But this shit is crazy. I love this song. The whole song is just him talking about fucking just bragging and stuff. My favorite line in there, he says, "I ain't into fashion, baby. I'm just into bragging." Incredible line that epitomizes so much like modern hip hop. I love that. And the energy just keeps going up. Like he starts at kind of a like a pace, and he has this energy in his voice. But towards the end, he's close to screaming, like his like angry whatever. It is so good. Highly recommend it. 42 Doug, Palm Angels in the Sky, real slapper.
Dang, I'm actually really excited to listen to the song now. Oh my god.
Yeah, I could use some aggression.
Yeah, dude, this song is this is that. Highly recommend it. But that's it for my song of the week.
Your thing reminds.
Where would you?
I'm sorry.
Sorry about Alex.
I was gonna say your thing about judging people in the car reminds me of when I was kind of dating this girl once, and I turned my car on, and fucking NPR jazz station was the first thing playing, and she's like, "Oh, you listen to jazz? What the fuck?" She wouldn't let it go. This just opened a traumatic memory for me.
You're immediately 50 years old and uncool.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You can listen to jazz and be cool.
I don't like jazz.
I like jazz.
I was listening to normal NPR. I don't listen for the fucking jazz station. I'm just a fucking liberal, all right? But yeah, go on.
I was going to ask how does Palm Angels in the Sky compare to Benny the Butcher?
So it's a very different type of style. Like Benny the Butcher is like a rapper. He will rap what they call bars, and you kind of appreciate the wordplay, and you appreciate the lyricism. You appreciate the so many different ways you could tell you how he sold cocaine. But in this song, it's more about the kind of a lot of the stuff I recommend on here, which is the vibey way that they talk and the way that they say it, the energy of the song. It's not about the way that the words that they're saying. So it still has energy. It's a very different energy.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, understood.
Yeah.
On my end, Tame Impala, Let It Happen. I vibe with that song. I added it.
Oh really? Yeah, I thought you would like it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I really like. When I listen to the Mac Miller song, because I don't actually have ever listened to Mac Miller before, unless Joseph's recommended it. No. But I felt like I was not getting good news, so I feel like the title is misleading, and I need to change it. I triple checked this time that I listened to correct songs from Joseph.
It's funny because you missed one.
Oh no!
No, I did.
You missed "Mood" by Lil Uzi Vert. That was my song of the week 2 weeks ago.
God dang it!
But that's okay. That's okay. You're good. Just keep it going.
Okay, Gunna's Sun Came Out. Yeah. All right. Me and Thugger made a slime house is actually a line in that. What is a slime house and who's Thugger? Is that Young Thug?
Thugger is Thug. Yeah, Young Thug. And a slime house. So they call themselves slimes. Like they refer to each other as slime. So I'm assuming a slime house. I
don't know what you said. You cut out.
They refer to each other as slime. So I'm assuming a slime house is a home full of his friends.
I see. Oh. Okay. I understand.
That's the Lord.
Did not like this song. Just so you know.
Oh my god.
That's okay.
And then the other one was Gunna One Watch featuring Young Thug. I actually did enjoy this song.
Yeah.
I don't think I would add it to my playlist just because it's like counter vibe to the vibe that my playlist has.
I get that.
So I don't know. I appreciated it. I liked it, but I don't know if I would necessarily like want it to come on while I'm doing like work, basically. My favorite line from there though is I just chopped the chicken, put it in a bezel. Now a bezel to me is typically on a watch or like a monitor. right? What, or like a phone?
Mm-hmm.
What does he mean by a chicken, and what does he mean by a bezel in this case?
So I don't know the specifics of this slang very much, but I believe a chicken is some sort of unit of measurement of drugs. Like you chopped a chicken, like you broke down, you cut down some sort of thing. So maybe he chopped the chicken, so he basically did this drug situation, and he had money that came out of it, and he put it in a bezel. You know, he bought a watch with his drug money.
Bought a watch. All right. Okay. I see.
I'm guessing.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, like I said, I actually enjoyed the song. Just I don't know if it would fit well in my playlist.
It's a song that you would skip on the playlist every time because it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Unless it like came on at the right, like there's other songs in there that like kind of don't fit, like Danny Brown. Like if one of his songs came on and then this song came on, I'd be like, yeah, keep it going. But otherwise, I'd be like, my song of the week is "Love Is in the Air" by Stella Donnelly. And I said it feels like an evening on the beach roasting marshmallows after a day of playing in the ocean.
Did you write that YouTube comment earlier? Was that you?
You got me.
Oh, no.
It just has like a chill, happy vibe to it that I like.
No. I want to say I've heard this song before, but I don't know why. But the name looks familiar.
"Love Is in the Air" is a cover, I believe, of somebody else's song. Okay. So I'm sure you've heard the original. I doubt you've heard of Stella Donnelly.
Wow, this guy. I doubt you've heard of this fucking real underground shit.
I haven't heard of it, dude.
It's just like, she really is like an indie pop person out of like Melbourne, Australia. Like, I doubt that you would go out and find her music.
I doubt that you could appreciate a Joseph.
No, I'm sure Joseph would like it. I think Joseph, this is like going to be another one of those songs where Joseph actually enjoys it. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that the music I listen to is popular for a reason.
Oh my god.
One thing I will say about the music you listen to, you also talked about last week the Australian radio station that does covers of other songs, and they did a Kid Cudi song. Mm-hmm. So they did Day and Night. I watched the video for that one, and I actually really liked it. I liked the way that they added a twist to it. I liked the way that they were singing on it. I liked the way that they did the do 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 do, like the little beepy thing. And I really liked it up to the point where the dude just started rapping a random ass verse talking about Kendrick and Eminem and like trying too hard to fill in every space with words, like the Eminem style rapping. You can't let anything go. You have to keep filling it with more dense bars that no one wants to hear. So I turned that shit off immediately because it's like, this is not Day and Night. Who are you?
It reminds me of the what's his name? Wait, I'll keep going. I need to look this up.
Is it a YouTube guy?
No, it's a guy from Twitter. Oh fuck, I don't remember it.
Is it the guy who does videos of him singing in his car? Or some other dense wordplay, lyrical miracle, spiritual guy?
Yeah. Wait, it's a lot like that.
Yeah. Oh, Hobson?
No. Oh, what the fuck? God, no. Oh, man. I don't remember. I'll get back to it when I remember.
It's all good. Yeah, but it actually kind of reminds me now that I'm thinking about it, of the conversation we had last week. They essentially did a remake, right, of Day and Night. They took the original vision of Day and Night and they stayed true to it while working within like a different set of things because they're different people making it, but they still made the original song. So that's kind of the everything in Resident Evil 2 or whatever, or everything in Resident Evil that isn't the upskirt. But the second verse that Kid Cudi has is the upskirt, and this dude replaced it. Like, his verse was the pants. His verse was the like, this isn't, what the fuck is this? You're trying to do something different to the original song. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm out. You can't change the original song.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something that you're not gonna like. I didn't know that they changed the verse.
Dude, if Kid Cudi ever rapped like that, I would immediately not listen to him ever again.
I was like, oh, cool, interesting.
Yeah.
I knew they disassembled the song and then like reassembled it up into their pieces. I also kind of figured you wouldn't like it, but I'm glad that you liked at least part of it.
I liked it up to that point.
Did you watch the other one as well?
No, just that one.
The other one I think is like way better. They disassemble 2 songs and put them together in like a crazy mashup. It's like super sick, actually.
But how do I know that they're not going to inject more bullshit verses that were never there?
Because there's only like 7 verses to Crave You by Flight Facilities.
I don't know, man. I don't trust those guys. It's like if I put up a YouTube rip of Top Gun, like Top Gun HD full movie, and then halfway through it, it's like the YouTube videos me and Alex made in middle school. I'm trying to get my shit out there.
No.
Don't worry, Alex. They're lost to time. You literally can't recover those videos anymore, except for the ones that are still up.
Oh god, no.
But the Stuntman Ignition review is gone forever. Don't worry about it.
That's good. Good news.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that they disassemble stuff like that. Like Vance Joy, who's famous for like Riptide, does a cover of Adele's Rolling in the Deep, and he completely changes the vibe of that song just because he knows he can't sing like Adele can. So it hits different, basically. But yeah, I don't know. I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Wait, I like the different. I like covers. Like for example, there's like the song "Jesus Take the Wheel" by Carrie Underwood. It's a good song, but there's a Danny Gokey version of it, the guy who didn't win American Idol like 15 years ago, but he did a cover of that song, and I think it's the way better version of that song because he just has a different voice, it's a different approach, a different song, but he didn't change the words. That's, I think, my line. You can't change the words. Even if it's like, say it's a woman singing about a man, loving a man, or vice versa, and if someone of the opposite sex or whatever decides to do the same thing and they change the lyrics to be about a woman to keep it straight, it's like, dude, fuck you. Sing about a man. You're singing a song. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know if I have an opinion on it. I just like the vibe. Honestly.
Just let the man vibe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like the different feel that different artists will impart into a song. One that I actually don't like is Arctic Monkeys does a cover of "The More You Know" by Tame, or "More You Know the Better."
The less you know, the better.
Yeah, thank you. By Tame Impala, and it sounds exactly the same. Like they don't change anything to it, and even the vibe is the same. It's just the Arctic Monkeys are performing it now, and I really don't like that version. Like if I'm gonna listen to it, I might as well just listen to the original.
No, they don't add anything at all.
No, not at all. Like if I'm gonna listen to a song like that, I need you to put your own personal flair on it. Like I want to experience it with how you feel it. Like one of my favorite bands, Glass Animals, on Triple J does a cover of "Love Lockdown" by Kanye West, and they put an entirely different feel to that song. Like it's way more like, I think afterwards they asked him like what did you change to it, and he was like, oh, I speak on the downbeat instead of the upbeat. So like he literally just changed the timing of what he's saying, and it changes the whole feel of that song. Like from like "Love Lockdown" is like a kind of a chill song, but it becomes like more chill, if that's possible.
More chill.
My favorite example of a song being really, really changed in the cover is Metallica does a cover of "Stone Cold Crazy" by Queen, and you know how in the original song it's talking about a water gun, right? Like he's going around shooting people with a water gun or whatever. But in the Metallica one, it's a fully loaded Tommy gun. It's obviously a Metallica song, so it sounds fucking insane. So it's a very different version of that song, but it's the same song, you know. But he changed the words, so I guess that kind of breaks my rules. So I don't know, but I still like the song. I vibe with it, you know.
There you go. All that matters is that you vibe with it.
Yeah, it's the real goal.
All right. Did you want to talk about your song this week, Alex?
I just put New Things Instantly. Another slowed and reverb thing. That was the weekend thing I was talking about. Honestly, like a lot of his songs from the new album will give you that slow reverb Tame Impala feel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They slow the song down like fucking like 100% or something stupid. It's really dumb.
Yeah. You can feel your soul lifting.
Yeah. And also Daft Punk Instant Crush. I never knew about that song, which is weird because I thought I knew every Daft Punk song. But it's
is
just
that
like
on Random Access Memories?
I think so, yeah. And
the name.
It's like Julian something is singing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one is the video I was thinking of earlier. It's literally just, you know who Casey Frey is on Twitter?
I know.
Oh, that's good. It's this video is called 5 bars 5 seconds, and it's 42 seconds long. You should really check it out. You really be spitting bars in it. And I wish he would stop. But yeah, I didn't listen to anyone else's songs because I'm a bad person, and I keep forgetting to.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Someone should listen to Mood, for the love of God. I love that song so much, and it makes me sad that no one's heard it yet.
Mood?
Lil Uzi Vert, Mood. You don't have to look it up right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's
as long as it's in this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in red for me for later. You guys ready to move on to rapid fire questions then?
Sure.
Alright, so I have 2. So the first one is we're just gonna roll back to what I asked earlier. Describe your dog, or in Alex's case, Nami the cat, in 3 words that start with the same letter.
That's easy. For me, my cat, it's fat, fluffy fuck. I couldn't think of a third F word, so I just went with fuck. But she's extremely lazy and fluffy.
Nice.
And a fucker. That's it. I can't show a picture on here. I don't know how. I don't know how to work iPad. But anyone who would see her would instantly agree.
I think JC would disagree, because he seems to disagree that she's fat.
He admits it sometimes. He just doesn't want to admit it in general. She's not like fat, like overweight. She's just a big fucking cat. She looks like she's half Maine Coon or something.
I think she is a Maine Coon.
I don't think she's a pure Maine Coon, because she'd be even bigger. Those things are fucking huge.
Yeah, Chura's had Maine Coons before, and I've met them, and they're just big chunkers. Like, when you see them, you're just like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's literally just a bus in cat form.
Yeah. For me, with my dog, it would be shy, serious, and single-minded, because when she gets focused on something, there's not really much I can do. But she's not really like a silly dog. She's like serious. Like she doesn't do like goofy stuff, I don't think, ever. And then she's shy around other people. So yeah.
I have S's as well. It's kind of the opposite. I guess Pepper is single-minded in the sense that she only cares about one thing, but that is why my 3. So she is silly. She's just a goofy dog. She's constantly doing dumb shit, like smiling, looking goofy, and like throwing around the same fucking ball and just running into walls and stuff. So she's silly. I already said that one. And then she is what's the other word? Stupid. She's stupid. Because she has apparently she ran straight into the wall face first the other day. Zenobia threw the ball to play fetch, and she just didn't look before she ran full speed into the wall, and then kind of was taken aback for a few seconds and had to shake it off and keep going, which I guess is cool. She's committed to her goals. And the other word I had was, I forget what it was. But essentially that's it. You know, she's just a dumbass. She just cares about her ball, and she'll do anything to get that ball. She walks around with the ball in her mouth, and if you're not playing with the ball at the moment, she doesn't care about you. But she'll come back and check in every 2 minutes or so if you want to play with the ball. The other day, she picked up the ball and poked me with it. Like, I was just sitting in the chair, and she came up and shoved it into my back to remind me that she was there. So that stupid, silly something dog.
That's funny. That's adorable. I think it's funny that we have like the opposite versions of dogs.
She broke a pot. She'll do anything to play with that ball. She goes through one every 10 days, and so
Oh my God.
we have to replace them every so often, which gets expensive. But it's the only toy she cares about, so I guess it's fine. Anyway,
I found my dog does not like anything that is not shaped like a furry animal, so I have to get her plushie toys all the time, and she just rips into them. Like, she's really, I think that honestly, like if I was into hunting, she'd be so stoked to go on hunts. Like she loves chasing small animals. It's kind of frightening, actually. And it's led me to a concern that I didn't have previously about once, quarantine and stuff is lifted. We have to actually like introduce our dogs to each other, and I'm worried about how my dog is gonna react to another dog, because every dog we've met so far who the owner's like, can my dog meet your dog? And I've always said yes, because I'm like, well, I would like her to be able to meet other dogs. Her reaction is always like, smell, bite, like I'm in charge here. So I'm kind of worried that would be her reaction too.
Are you gonna be one of those guys who like brings your dog everywhere that you go? It's like, hey Yazeed, come over.
Not into the grocery store, no.
But it's like, hey Yazeed, let's record at my house, and you're like, oh, let me bring the dog. You're one of those.
Depending. It's like right now I can leave her alone for like 2.5 hours. I'm working my way up basically. So like I can leave her alone for like 2.5 hours right now, maximum.
Yeah.
Or that's like the maximum I've left her. So I'm working my way to like 8 hours ish. Like I want to be able to like be alone for about 8 hours, but I need to walk her at the times that I walk her. So yeah.
I don't know how Pepper's gonna do meeting any dogs. She's really like I've never met a dog like her. She's not like dogs. She doesn't do anything. She's not interested in anything. She has no thing except for this ball. You could walk into my house and probably like beat me up in front of her, and as long as you throw the ball afterwards, it's all good. You're her new friend. I'm dead to her.
Sapphire is the exact opposite. She literally won't play with anyone besides me. So like my mom has tried throwing a tennis ball. Nope. My cousin has tried throwing a tennis ball. Nope. My uncle and aunt have tried. Nope. My brother has tried. Nope. She literally only wants to play with me.
Yeah.
She's like hyper attached to me.
Yeah, maybe they would be great friends because they're complete opposites. Kind of like you and me at the beginning, you know? That's how you find real love.
Maybe, yeah. I'm worried if they slowly drift together, though, what kind of amalgamation that would be.
Amalgamation.
Would your dog become more generalized, or would my dog become more specific?
They just become, more specific weirdos than they are. Kind of like, what would you say that we did, Yazeed? Do you think that we strapped into our existing thing, or we became more accepting of each other, you know?
I think we became way more accepting.
I don't know.
100%. When we first met, we were really at each other's throats, whereas now we're like hyper chilled out. Like we can say whatever, do whatever, pretty much.
Well, I mean,
and like we're supportive towards each other.
Yeah, we have like a good, healthy friendship now, but it was pretty fucking toxic in the beginning.
It wasn't a friendship in the beginning. That's why. I think pretty much like as soon as the flip switched from like we don't like each other to like we're friends, it instantly went from being like toxic relationship to like not toxic at all anymore. This is there was no like intermediate time like as it transitioned from one to the other. I don't think.
Man,
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say I miss the days when Yazeed would kick me out of the group Skype call.
Well, I realized what actually was the problem was that you and Tynan together I couldn't handle. It's taken a while for me to really chill out as a human, and also to accept that you and Tynan are you and Tynan when you're together.
Oh my god.
You guys have like such a different energy when you're apart. Like I can play games with Tynan, I can play games with you. I cannot play games with you and Tynan. Tynan gets too upset. And to some extent, you kind of troll. Like,
yeah, well, he's getting upset. He deserves it. It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think basically, like for me, growing up has just been mellowing out as a person. Like every year, I feel like I've become more mellow. So I definitely think like our relationship, Joseph, has become like more general. Like we're not like we can talk about whatever, right? Like there's still like friends that I have that I can't talk about. Whatever.
Sure.
Like if I'm not playing the same game as them, I just won't talk to them for like months at a time.
Right. I don't know. It's weird because you describe the whole thing as flipping a switch. Like Alex was like my friend, but not in the same way. Like Alex basically followed me and JC around and choked us for 1.5 years, and then we became friends after that.
Well, I really did choke him.
You choked the shit out of us. That was your brand. But then Yazeed, Yazeed, we had mutual friends and we just hung out in the same places and we didn't like each other. And then you described the day that you realized that you liked me was the day I threatened you with violence. So that's like a very weird relationship for us to have.
Yeah. Yes. You threatened to kill me if I ever said what I said again. And while you were doing that, I was like, I'm going to be best friends with this person.
Like, I respect the fuck out of that. You'll hurt me? Hell yeah. But yeah, anyway, it's just weird how that whole thing works. But maybe that'll be the thing with our dogs, you know? Like a day of arguing, a little bit of racism, and then...
I hope not, because I don't think Sapphire has like a play bite mode yet. Like, I legitimately, like, when she bites into her toys, she like does the whole head shake and like foots, like she does like the whole thing, like she actually is trying to kill this thing. Like, I don't think it's any, like, I don't think there's any amount in her brain that's like, this is just for play. Yeah. I think definitely she's like, this is practice for when I get my mouth on a rabbit. Like, this thing is fucking dead. Like, 100%. My God. Like, that's why I said she's like super serious and single-minded. Like, I don't think there's any real like silly in her as a dog. Like, she's hyper focused almost all the time. It's really threatening sometimes. Like at night, in the middle of the night, if she needs to go out, she'll just sit at the edge, like on the floor, staring at me in the pitch black, and just bump me with her nose occasionally, and then we'll whine. She also doesn't verbalize at all.
It sounds like Yazeed's gonna be killed by his dog.
If anything happens.
I thought I was when I first got her, yeah. Like, the first night, I realized, like, I'm in a room with a dog I don't know, and I don't know how she's gonna react. But she just checks on me every now and then. Like, she's really caring, but not in a, like, I think like in a traditionally, like, how people normally imagine dogs, like, that, like, cuddle up against you and, like, get on top of you. She just kind of, like, pokes her head in sometimes and is like, you cool? Okay. You good? Like, she wakes me up at night to see if I'm still breathing, and then just, if I kind of, like, give her a pat on the head, she's like, all right, I'm going back to sleep then. See you later. And that's it.
Sounds healthy.
But, yeah, I don't know. And then the other question I have is actually a quote from a philosopher. And it goes, a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. Do you agree or disagree?
Isn't everyone thinking all the time?
I think he means like overthinking.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts.
Yeah.
As in, like, if all you do is think.
Yeah, I think that's a quote about overthinking instead of just like doing shit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the phrasing is weird because if it's different between thinking a lot or thinking all the time versus splitting that, like thinking literally at every waking second. Like me right now, I'm thinking on some level, even though I'm doing something. Like they're not mutually exclusive, thinking and doing.
Yeah, I that sounds more like thinking about something to the point where you don't actually do it. Kind of like me and doing Leak Code or Hacker Rank or something. Or I think about it every day, but I haven't done it in months.
Yeah.
All I have are thoughts about it. I don't have
it's like procrastination, kind of.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I think it's procrastination or like overthinking, or because he's a philosopher. I wonder if part of it is his just saying like, if all a philosopher is doing is sitting in their room and thinking, then they're not. They don't really like have any experiences to think about. Like all they have to think about is like thinking.
I think the experiences part is the big draw.
Yeah.
You can't actually get them.
If I were to book a ticket to some random city I'd never been to and just ride the bus for hours just to soak up the environment, I'm thinking about it, but I am kind of passively doing something. But I'm like soaking up experience while thinking about it.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he's drawing a difference between experiencing and considering, basically.
Yeah, I think it's more of that where you're just like thinking to the point of not experiencing because you're overthinking it.
That I can see, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, no, it is like what I talk about with my Steam games, where I'm like clouded by the idea of the fact that I need to play my Steam games instead of playing the Steam games. It's exactly that whole thing. I overthink what I need to do and don't do it.
Yeah, very common thing that I'm currently doing.
That's all I had then.
Do you
guys have anything else?
do you
sorry, go ahead.
agree with that? Like, what do you just fully?
I don't know. For me, that quote sums up, like, when I heard the quote, the first thing I thought about was The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Because to me, that movie was when I realized, like, I can't just think about doing the things I want to do. I actually have to do them.
True.
To, like, become... I can't, like, think... Basically, I can't think about the person I want to be. I need to become the person I want to be, in a way. It's like, in that was, like... That quote kind of, like, sums up that experience to me of, like, going from, like, wanting to be outdoorsy to just becoming outdoorsy, because it's not hard to do that.
Yeah.
But it's, like, hard to conceptualize becoming that.
True.
Or, like, wanting to own a dog into just owning a dog. Like, I was definitely, like, super worried about owning a dog until I got a dog and realized, like, it's not rocket science. People have been doing it for, like, millions of years or whatever.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of years.
But on the other hand,
Nike just do it. Oh, that's all I was gonna say. They had a point.
The other side of that, though, is that I could have some, like, fit of mania and be like, it's a great idea to rip out all the tires from my car and just have no wheels.
Are you psychotic?
Well, no, and then it's like, well, don't think about it. Fucking just do it. If that's what you want to do, man, just commit. Then I go and take all the wheels off my car, and I never thought about it.
I think the domain here is normal thoughts.
but it could be a normal thought to say that maybe you want to stop programming for a living and go work at a record store.
That could be.
Like, that's a realistic idea that someone could have. Maybe I've had this thought before.
Yeah.
But
honestly, you'd be a lot happier at Zia. I'm gonna be real with you.
I would love to work at Zia. That'd be great. It'd be I don't know. Programming is hard, and programming for a living is very demanding on
sucks
your
ass.
brain.
Let's be real here. It's just
not
it's
complaining.
too much,
it's a great job, but
it's great, but it's too much mental energy over too much time in a week. You know.
I guess it depends heavily on where you're working and what you're doing and all that kind of stuff. But programming for a living, it's that whole thing of, people say, like, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. People who do stuff like that's fucking bullshit, because anything is a job at a certain point.
Yeah.
The thing that you love becomes a job. And it's like you like to build things, but you have to be in meetings to talk about the way you're going to build things, and you're confronted with business realities and the money side. It's like, I just want to build things. I don't care. Yeah.
And deadlines and changing priorities,
which all just comes from
tests.
Money,
and
the
corporate
business
speak, and pretending to care about someone's birthday.
Yeah, I guess I just the idea of doing something you love for a job. I still obviously love programming for a living, but I'm just saying the idea of maybe this is like a drastic, life-changing thing that requires a lot of thought, but it is a normal thought, and you really do have to sometimes overthink things if they matter enough.
I think that the goal is not to you are correct that you should think through your decisions. I don't think you're correct in that you should overthink your decisions.
No one should overthink anything.
Yeah, I think like, I don't want it to be like a hard and fast rule, but like 2 times the time it would take you to make the decision, like, should be how long you think about the decision. Because I think thinking about owning a dog for a year did not make me better prepared to own a dog, because I had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
And I don't think but the other side of this is thinking about doing outdoor activities like hiking alone and rock climbing and stuff like that for a long time before I started doing it. I think kind of set me up to be able to actually do that alone. Like, being able to consider something for hours on end set me up to be able to hike alone, because that's all you can do, really. You're just moving, considering like where you're going to place your feet, like checking if there's anything up ahead that you should be worried about, and then you're just in your own thoughts. It's like just being able to do that came in handy, but I don't know if overthinking was a good idea.
Yeah.
It just happened to be a useful skill to have.
Well, by definition, overthinking is too much thinking. You shouldn't think too much about anything. Everything requires like a separate amount of whatever.
Yeah, but
everything requires thought.
Yeah, but when you're like 7 hours into when you set up to do like a 7-hour hike, like, whatever you're gonna think about, you're gonna overthink, because 7 hours of just thinking and walking is like eternity almost. If that makes sense. That's why I said, like, I I think there's like two sides of that coin. Like it set me up to be able to hike for long periods of time alone with without talking or verbalizing anything to anyone, but did not set me up to get a dog, because owning a dog is not something I think that you can imagine unless you've owned a dog before, which I have not.
You can imagine owning a dog. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, but it's so different.
That's true for anything.
Like,
the idea of driving a car is not the reality of driving a car. These are all. It's always true.
Well, yeah, but like a dog has its own personality and has like its own like levels of like drive and things that it likes and dislikes, and like it has like stuff to it. It's like when you imagine like, oh, what would it be like to own a dog? First of all, like the first step would be you have to envision this whole like persona for a dog, and then from there build up like a life with this dog, kind of. Whereas with hiking, it's just walking up and down hills and around stuff and like more difficult terrain. So I think that's easier to like visualize for people who walk, who have like the ability to walk long distances.
You could also visualize in your head it's going to be a sunny day, and then you get out there and it's raining. I wanted a nice, cool dog. My dog's an asshole.
Yeah, but the weather. So you should not hike when it's raining. Just heads up. If it's raining and you're going up a mountain, don't hike, because you get hit by a flash flood and get stuck out there.
Get dead out there. You're not gonna get stuck in anything.
I mean, you can get dead out there whether it's raining or not.
You're definitely stuck if you're dead.
Yeah, I don't know. The quote I think kind of hit for me like the nail on the head. I think of like one of those like big moments. Like people talk like big moments in their life when they make like an epiphany almost. And I was like, my epiphany was a movie, and that quote just kind of like reminded me of that moment.
Yeah. There's another modern legend with a similar quote, and it is Kenneth Beats for all of you professionals. It's just don't overthink shit. It's like his whole brand, DOTS. But yeah, it's generally a bad idea to overthink things. That's why it's overthinking. But I get that quote makes sense. I mean, don't overthink shit.
Yeah. All right. Anything anyone else wants to bring up?
I have a T-shirt that says "Don't overthink shit." I bought it from Kenneth Beats.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you wear it?
Yeah, I gained like 20 pounds since then though, so the titties are a little tight on it, but yeah.
They say when you're in a happy relationship, people tend to gain weight. So.
Yeah, I've been very happy for the past 9 years.
Oh no.
But people also say when you're depressed, there's a chance that you just eat everything and also gain weight. So I don't know which one it is for you, Joseph.
I started working out again on a consistent schedule this week. Today's my rest day, but I worked out from Monday to Saturday every morning.
Nice.
And on the I have an exercise bike, and I just watch My 600-Pound Life on my iPad while I do that, and that shit is so motivational, dude. If you want to see like fat people lying to themselves to continue being fat, and then I'm over here like 27 minutes is pretty much 30 minutes. It's like that I'm the fat asshole lying to myself to be fat still. I
think I don't really know much about that show, but I know that there's like the meme of the lady who gets the whipped cream and she like puts it on her dessert and then just like does the like and then just sprays it in her mouth. And I think about that from time to time because that's the thing I would do.
Yeah, you have the soul of those people in those shows, but not the metabolism.
Like, well, I think it's a little bit different because you go
outside.
Like the last few years, I've done like an insane amount of physical activity, but to make up for an insane amount of calories intake.
But the thing that they all describe is like there's some internal monster that controls me that makes me eat all this fucking pizza, and I feel like you've said that pretty much sometimes.
There is, yes. when I eat, that's me with chocolate. Actually, there is some dark driving force inside of me that anytime I start to eat chocolate, I have to finish whatever amount of chocolate there is.
You sound possessed.
Speaking of chocolate, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say like that's just true about me with chocolate. It's like like chocolate bars have like little segments to them. Yeah. A lot of chocolate bars like little segments. I can't eat 4 segments of chocolate. I either eat the whole bar or no bar. There is no in between, and I haven't learned the control to be able to do that.
What about like a Kit Kat? Because that's pretty easily splittable, or a Twix. They're separate bars.
I don't split a Kit Kat, and I eat a whole Twix.
Okay, you can eat a whole Twix, but they come in packs of 2.
Yeah, so I eat both Twix at once.
Okay, but a Kit Kat, you're saying you eat it entire. You don't.
Yeah,
crack
I
it
eat
in
it
the
like a
middle?
chocolate bar. I don't break
That's
it. That's
fucking
what
insane, Yazeed.
Oh my god.
My coworkers got really mad at me actually because they didn't know that about me. And then one day I was helping somebody and I happened to have a Kit Kat as a snack. And while they were explaining their problem to me, I just took a bite of the Kit Kat and they were just like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm eating a candy bar. What are you doing?" And they really upset them. But yeah, I eat Kit Kats just whole on. I don't want to spend time cracking each individual.
I can understand that.
Me.
Sometimes I bite into it to like the side just to affront God himself.
You don't. Okay, listen. Hold on a second. You don't eat sunflower seeds by cracking each individual sunflower seed. You just throw a handful in your mouth and you chew them
Yeah,
out.
absolutely not. No, I don't.
Yeah, I do that.
Because it's hard to manage with my tongue all of these partial shells, partial seeds. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a recipe for disaster. You just put one in your mouth at a time, crack it open, enjoy the salt, eat the part, and spit out the thing. That's how you do it.
Oh, I just eat the whole thing.
How long does it take you to eat sunflower seeds?
Like an entire baseball game, which is about the only time you should eat sunflower seeds.
That's like 4 to 17 hours.
4 to 17 hours.
I was gonna say about chocolate. I made a really, really great mocha. Did I talk about last week when I'm just measuring my espresso now? Anyway.
No, but I saw your tweet that you made the perfect espresso.
Yeah. I've had this espresso machine, or I've had a espresso machine in some form for over 3 years, making espresso and kind of eyeballing it, being like too confident, just saying, "Oh, I know what I'm doing," and it always comes out shitty, and I never think to change what I'm doing. But recently, I decided to start weighing out the espresso and weighing out the water that comes out and timing everything, just like the basics of what you're supposed to do in making espresso. And I made some fucking incredible espresso. And then I made a mocha, which is just a latte with chocolate in it. And I really was happy about the fact that I think I know how to make espresso now. After all these years, I've graduated.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
So hit me up if you ever want espresso.
Oh shit! Yeah, mail that over to me.
At some point, we're gonna do these in person again.
Oh yeah.
We'll probably host them at some place. So either Yazeed's house or my house. But anyway, we'll figure that out. And I'll make you all the espresso you want.
Oh hell yeah.
I can't drink coffee. I don't think anymore.
Why not?
I think I get the shakies when I drink caffeine now.
That's the whole point.
Yes.
Yeah.
The point is
To
to
feel
become
alive.
a crackhead.
Is that it for us?
I think that's all for us.
Yeah. Take us away.
Thanks for listening, everyone. A couple shout outs at the end, as usual. All the music is done by Tynan, or at Nytan, Nytan, and on Bandcamp. You can catch us at homegames.io or on Twitter at homegames.io. One word, no caps. I don't know if that's important on Twitter.
It is, yeah.
But there you go.
Oh no, sorry, the caps isn't, but there's no spaces or anything.
Yeah, it's no space or dot on Twitter, but there is a dot on the website.
Yes.
So check us out there, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Adios.